Welcome, my friend, to today's Operation Greatness, Freeing the Matrix, Parasite Cleansed, Focused Wealth Immersion Action Pod number 74. I think we got an interesting one today and a very important one as well. This is entitled Resisting Satan's Temptations and Surviving Your Dark Night. Stay focused, stay connected, stay committed, renew your faith, and own your power. There's a lot in there. How do you initially respond to it? When you hear those words, resisting Satan's temptations, what comes to mind immediately for you? I like this way of seeing the temptations to harm your body or to sabotage yourself. You know that one of the main things I think is required of us today is to become parasite cleansed. This is a subset of our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. Make sure you're doing this Operation Greatness Action Pod number 74 in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. So parasite cleansed, when you're becoming parasite cleansed, you're moving out of the old negative programming. Did you know that 93 to 97% of your behavior is not your own? It was programmed within you. Think of it this way. I mean, this is a little deeper than the topic of this conversation, and yet it's really important. So it's important for every one of us to see how this works. You're you're ruled by or controlled by two things, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And it's kind of like the iceberg where like the top 2 to 5% of the iceberg is above the surface and everything else is below the surface. And it's the stuff below the surface that has most of the power. That's your programming. That's like your operating system. And the conscious part of you is supposed to be the CEO, and that determines the direction of where this iceberg goes, of where you go in your life. And yet, when your so your conscious mind is like, I have my purpose. I'm here to help a lot of people. I'm here to be of greater service as much as I can be. That's your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma. And yet, the subconscious programming is always looking for threats in the environment, and it's taking a pulse. It's looking for signs of what the larger tribe is doing, and the larger group in this case is what? Fat, broke, unhappy, programmed to be just in survival mode, in scarcity, fear, lack. They're not thriving, they're suffering, they're in pain, they're in misery, they don't feel good about themselves, they don't have hope for the future. That was all manipulated. That was carefully designed by the systems of control, of oppression, because, well, I mean, we've done other podcasts about this. If you want to look back on that, check out, well, the first one was called Raising Humans, and that was a three-part series. Oh, I don't know. Let's say, I think it was starting with number 9, maybe, Operation Greatness Podcast number 9, somewhere around there. And anyway, we go through all of that. But there are forces that had been before now, before you took action and you stepped up and you stopped it, had been feeding off of fear, and they're parasites. That's why, I mean, it's up to us to own our power and to work together to become free. We are sovereign. We are free. This is our duty, our destiny. So nothing matters more than all of this. And so the societal programming, I mean, like, did you know that TV, the television, your television, if you have one, if you still have one, if you still use it, was or is a military weapon. It's all designed to keep people under control to keep them passive, to keep them barely functioning. I mean, that's a little overly stated. I mean, you can live your life, but you just are not supposed to think for yourself. You're not supposed to question the authority. Follow the science, trust the science. It's really follow the money. And anyway, so you were programmed. I mean, in the indoctrination system, we call the schools. The education system is about indoctrination. I mean, that was well organized by, you can look it up yourself if you don't understand this or realize this yourself. It was organized by J.D. Rockefeller because he didn't, I think there's even a quote of his that says, we don't want a society of thinkers, we want a society of followers, of workers is really what it was about. And that's what the indoctrination system is now, except since what I call Fraud 1.0 began in March of 2020, the COVID PSYOP, it's also known as, that was part of it. I mean, the attempted totalitarian takeover, when that began, it was overt, it was upfront, it was in your face that you have to comply. Otherwise, well, first, it was like the fist. You have to comply, otherwise you can't travel, otherwise you can't get into places. You're blocked, you're banned, you're isolated. And I mean, all of this is just an oppression. This is the work of Satan. And so you could think of all of the programming. I mean, what is the programming, the TV programming about? Notice the theme that's in so many sitcoms where there's a weak man in charge of the family. He's like a child, a big child. I mean, like the biggest examples that you can probably think of right now, or two of the big examples are like Adam Sandler and I forgot his name now, the tall guy who played in Elf. And, they're very funny guys, but they're like representing the child, the boy who never grew up. And the thing is, if you're a child, if you haven't gone through the rite of passage and become an adult, and they took away that, and you know how many cultures in the world famously require their men to go out into the desert or to live on their own. And like a Native American, what do they call that? Vision quest, thank you. Where the boys have, like, when they're 13 or 15 or whatever it is, probably 13 or 12, they have to go out there and they survive on their own for like 3 days by themselves. And if they don't make it, if they die out there, then, well, they didn't make it, then they died a child. But it's better to die as a child than to live as a child in the tribe where they're not supporting and helping they're not playing their part, carrying their weight in the tribe, and because that would hurt the whole tribe. Well, how many people now are still children, even though they're in their 40s or their 50s or 60s or even 30s, and they didn't go through that rite of passage? That's where boys become men and girls become women, and they're functional and they're responsible and they're owning their power. I mean, like, to me, it's obvious that the education system, its prime responsibility is to give our children the knowledge that they need to become the people that they need to thrive in life, to create anything they want. And it's not, I mean, now, especially the last 5 years, it's so pathetic what we allowed our schools to become, indoctrination camps, to where it's child abuse now to even send your children to this unconscionable programming. I mean, that's pathetic of us, and yet here we are. I mean, the education system, the indoctrination camps became about confusing children, showing them a lie, a world that doesn't exist where a boy can become a girl and a girl can become a boy. And it was all about the destruction, the organized destruction of the family, society, our communities, to get people enslaved to the dumbing device. So all of this is part of you resisting Satan's temptations and surviving your dark night. So, I mean, did you know that coffee was designed to keep the masses under control, passive, subdued, not thriving? Caffeine is an addictive drug, and so walk away from it completely. Like, I've been keeping track of this myself. It's called the unbroken chain. I mentioned this in another podcast, though that was a while ago now. I don't know when it was, maybe 10 or 12 or 15 shows ago. And I don't remember what show it was, but it's called the unbroken chain. Like, take your calendar and write on there the things that you are doing that are good for you, where you're resisting Satan's temptation. And I mean, this is all part of Parasite Cleanse. So just give yourself Parasite Cleanse, become Parasite Cleanse. This is part of our freeingthematrix.com. It's a subset of that, just as leading your own Operation Greatness chapter, where you are the inspired leader of everyone in your local area. Can you contribute more than that by doing something more meaningful to more people than leading your community into owning their power, commanding their destiny? And all of us working together and serving and supporting each other and being our best and breaking out of the parasite programming? I don't think so. And do this as a family where you're leading through the children, where you're breaking the programming of them to be anti-humanity, anti-family, anti-God, anti-country, anti-freedom. I mean, this is the work every one of us is required to do. Give them that rite of passage where they know how powerful they are and they know that they can create anything that they want. And you're giving them the means to do that by leading your own Operation Greatness chapter in your community. We've done other podcasts talking about this. It was early on, maybe, I don't know, probably within maybe number 6 even, I don't know. Go back and look for that. Very, very strong one. I mean, to me, that's like the greatest, to me, that's the required education, not just the greatest education you can provide for your children. Leading your own Operation Greatness chapter together as a family, and then even giving your children, well, they earn their own Operation Greatness chapter, and that's when they know, like, oh, I want to buy a car. Well, have you earned it by being of greater service to more people? That's how life works. You contribute to others and you get rewarded for that contribution for being of greater service. And they know that they can create anything they want, like their education system. How much more are they taking ownership of what they're learning by paying for it themselves, by earning it themselves through their Operation Greatness chapter? That's a subset of freeingthematrix.com, just as Parasite Cleansed is. So anyway, we have to go through this rite of passage. We have to become adults, responsible people who are living their fullest life and not falling prey to the temptations to sabotage themselves. I mean, like caffeine, coffee is just one simple thing, and yet how many people drink alcohol? How many people smoke marijuana, weed, pot, or do other heavier drugs? I mean, how many people are eating crap, ultra processed foods, which is poisonous? I mean, how many people are eating their produce that has poison on it? We're so out of alignment. We're so ruled, you could say, by Satan, and we're programmed just to consume, consume, consume. I mean, I get a visual of like that fat kid who's just feeding his face with junk. How is it even possible that we had allowed our grocery stores to make the choice? Do you want your food with poison or do you want to pay 30% more for it without poison? How is that even a thing that we have food that's poisonous and we're offered it and we're sold it and we buy it? How is that even a thing? I mean, like Skittles made the news recently by removing the poisonous food colorings in the junk that it is, which are, these chemicals that have been banned in the UK and other parts of the world. I mean, like, we talked about this in another one too, but in another podcast, where it's 1,000 chemicals that are in the foods in America, whereas all but 30 of them have been banned in, I don't remember if it was the UK or the EU as a whole, where, you look at the same product in America has like this much ingredients, like 50 or 70, whereas in the UK it might have 14 or 12 or 10. The same product, the same brand, the same company, and they're loading ours in America, our food supply, with garbage, with toxins, with chemicals, with poisons. How is that even possible that we had allowed that? Other than because Satan had been ruling the systems of oppression, especially in America, and we went along with it because we didn't believe in ourselves, because we didn't know better, because we were ignorant, because we were just moving along, going with the program. No, you're so much better than that. Every one of us is so much better than that. Resist the temptations and work through this global dark night of the soul. Is there anything more important for every one of us to do than this? Stay focused, stay connected, stay committed, renew your faith, and own your power. So, like we said, 93 to 97% of your actions, of your behavior, was programmed. It was not you living your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma. It was you complying with the programming. So, really hear that message and stop complying with the programming. You are here for a very, very important work, assignment, gift. You are God's gift to the world, after all. You're here to lead, inspire, transform, and liberate every one of your online friends, even right here through this Operation Greatness podcast. How much good are you doing by even leading every one of your online friends into this action pod number 74, resisting Satan's temptations and surviving your dark night? I mean, do this right now if you haven't been already. Make sure that you, well, go to in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind in your About tab, get your invite people link, and go back to the beginning of this Action Pod number 74. It's called Action Pod because you're here to take action on it. You're here to transform everyone connected with you online. So pause and reflect on each point in this podcast and share your thoughts and especially your feelings about each point, because then we're going deeper into each point, and share them as separate posts as you are bringing every one of your online friends, you're leading them into this action pod number 74. And in all of your posts, use that invite people link that you got once you became part of the freeingthematrix.com mastermind yourself. And this is how you are being of greater service. This is how you're living up to your full potential. I know you. You have, since you were a child, you have known you're here for something big, something huge, something really important that you're meant to contribute to the world. Is there any question that this is it? This is the higher purpose of your life? I mean, just for example, let's do this right now, in fact. Let's do this right now. Your power is beyond measure, and you're here to own your power and command your destiny. So right now, focus your full power on creating this manifestation. Join us in manifesting this creation. This is something we call humanity's unifying manifestation. So clear your mind, focus your attention, focus your power, concentrate your power, because where you're giving your attention, you are giving your power, and that's how you are creating your life and how we are creating our world. So just see this, feel this, trust this is your higher purpose, and this is what you are doing now in how you are creating your life in our world. Our power is beyond measure. Together, we've helped 1.72 billion people become very wealthy, living their dharma through freeingthematrix.com, Parasite Cleansed, and Operation Greatness. This is the higher purpose of our lives and the greatest thing we've ever done in being of service to humanity and the world. This is the most important thing every one of us has ever done. And you can feel that and know that and trust that and create that. You're creating that right here. And then now, by you going back to the beginning of this action pod number 74 and using your invite people link that you got when you became part of FTM yourself, freeingthematrix.com, then use that link because this is how you're bringing everyone connected with you into being that inspired visionary leader of everyone connected with them. So lead all of your online friends into resisting Satan's temptations and surviving your dark night of the soul. And and then we're all doing this together in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. So so lead every one of your online friends, no one left behind. And yet, just by you getting 1,200 of your online friends doing this through your link, your invite people money link, for every month that your 1,200 people are with us, that's worth $35,400 to you. And yet, your 1,200 people grow into 1,440,000 people by them getting their 1,200 people, and that grows to 1.72 billion people by them getting their 1,200. That's the higher purpose of your life. That is how much you matter. That is your greatest contribution to the world. Leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating 1.72 billion people. Is there anything more great that you can contribute than that to our human family? If you think of something, if you know of another way, then do that by all means, because we're all here to make as much of a difference as we can to as many people as we can. So stay focused on that, give that your power, stay connected with all of us in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind, and especially our Operation Greatness Private Wealth Alliance, which is another level of committed, inspired, high frequency leaders. You want to be part of that for sure and become parasite cleanse. So you're removing the poisons from your life and you're renewing your faith in yourself, in your purpose, in your mission, in your vision, in God, in humanity. You see how important this is for all of us? Because how many people are struggling and they don't believe in themselves, they don't feel like they matter? That was all part of Satan's programming. We have to become parasite cleansed. I mean, I cannot stress that enough. I think this is required of every one of us now. We have to go through this rite of passage. We have to become mature, strong leaders because the world needs us because so many people are suffering now. You know that. You're suffering yourself. So you get out of that by being of greater service to more people. And that's what we're doing together, especially in our Operation Greatness chapters, leading them in our community. You have so much more power than you can ever imagine because you are God's gift to the world, after all. So being that gift is how you get out of the toxic programming. You believe in yourself again. You know how much you matter. And this is the test for humanity now. This is how we're surviving the dark night. So talk about all this. We're going deeper into all of this. There's so much here. Stay focused, stay connected, stay committed, renew your faith and own your power. We're going deeper into all of this in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. So Join us there. Let's continue the conversation there. I love you. I believe in you. I know how much you matter because you are here to transform the world. That's your higher purpose, and that's the greater way. All of us are coming together and being of greater service to everyone we can. Everyone connected with us on all our social media, as well as everyone in our local communities through leading our own Operation Greatness chapters. We're doing this all together in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. So make sure that you are the example of how much more is possible for every one of us. Share your thoughts about all of this in the essay that you're sending me. And in that essay, grab all of the posts that you've been making since the beginning of Action Pod number 74, put them into that essay, send that to me personally at dan@danklatt.com, and share that essay as well with us all in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. Breathe in all of this, sit with all of this because you know that this is the higher purpose of your life, right? You feel that, you trust that. Now you're focusing on that, being the inspired leader you are born to be, you are destined to be, you are responsible for being, and become parasite cleanse. Make sure that you're going through that rite of passage. Remove all the poisons in your life. That was what was inspiring this podcast, was resisting Satan's temptations, because I started talking about this. So take that calendar, and for every day, like maybe you're giving up coffee, maybe you're giving up sugar, maybe you're giving up processed foods, maybe you're giving up alcohol. If you still do any of that overtly blatant abuse of your body, marijuana, whatever it is, then write it down on a calendar. Create that unbroken chain. So when you do that today, then like write on the calendar, like I don't have it with me to show you. Do I? No, I don't. It's like mine, let's see, yesterday was day 21 of going without caffeine for me. It was also day 21 for going without sugar for me. No, it was, let's see, day 19 for going without caffeine because I had caffeine once when I drank a protein shake and it was chocolate hazelnut flavor and it had 19 milligrams of caffeine in it, which like a cup of coffee has 100 milligrams, I think. And so it's like about a fifth of a cup of coffee, but it still had some. Anyway, so it's kind of like 21, but yesterday I did have some sugar. I had a protein bar and I just kind of felt like trying that to see it had 15 grams of sugar in it. And I had that. So I sort of went off my sugar ban and I tested that consciously to see what it did for me. And before, when I would eat sugar, I would want to have more sugar. So I kind of went off my day 21. I mean, on day 21, I kind of went off my sugar because I wanted to see what that was like. And I didn't crave it after that. So I broke through that programming. And now I can just, except I do have two more protein bars that have maybe more sugar, like 17 grams. And I might just, I'd rather just eat my food instead of, and not buy any more. So anyway, that's what the inspiration was for us to resist Satan's temptations and surviving your dark night. So reflect on all of this. In our freeingthematrix.com mastermind, we're going deeper into all of this. So like I said, share your thoughts in the essay you're sending me personally, dan@danklatt.com, and then share that as well with all of us in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. There's much here for us to go deeper within, and we're doing that together in our FTM. So playful out here. You have so much within you to give, and now it's your time to step up and be God's gift to the world. So serve, 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 transform, lead, inspire. This is your higher purpose. This is your destiny. This is your duty. This is your responsibility. We're all doing this together, especially in our communities, leading our Operation Greatness chapters. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so inspired by the person you are. And now you're living that because you know you have so much to give and you're giving it. So I really appreciate that. I'm so happy with you honoring who you are and the gift you truly are. Thank you very much.